Today we're going to take a look at one of our most popular light duty tools, the Multitool. This was a much asked for, very popular when it was launched a few years ago tool, and we were super happy to bring it to our customers. It's now one of the staples in our Nuron range, and in this video we've got some tips and tricks for you on the Multitool, some how-tos, some things just help you along the way, maybe be a bit quicker, a bit faster, also some needs to know in terms of the battery and things like that. Multitool, you can see here, is on the Nuron platform. If you're not familiar with what that is, we launched this a few years ago in the UK. These are our Nuron batteries, so they're all 22 volt like the previous batteries, but every single cordless tool that we do now will all work with those same batteries. We do various different sizes as well, which I'll touch on a little bit later in the video. So maybe let's start with some needs to know with the Multitool. Now I'm sure a lot of you watching this video will know what a Multitool is. Okay, the clue is in the name, Multitool. This will cut a variety of materials. You're going to be cutting most of the time, I would hazard a guess, with wood, maybe some plasterboard, lighter duty materials. It will also cut metal, it will cut plastic, piping, guttering, you name it, does sanding and lots of other applications. So a very, very versatile tool that almost all trades, especially interior focused trades, will have in their set of tools. So that's what a Multitool is. How a Multitool operates is quite simple. You attach the blades to the top of the tool, attach the battery to the bottom. It has a speed dial as well, which we'll touch on in a second, and quite a simple off and on switch. And then you're going to use this to do a variety of plunge cuts into whatever material it is that you're using. So maybe some tips and tricks for you. If you look at the Hilti Multitool, you'll notice we have this kind of latch or lever at the top here, and you can see on there it says Starlock Max. So Starlock Max is the way that you connect the insert to the Multitool. So what you'll notice about our tool is there's no kind of Allen key needed to set up the tool. All you're simply going to do is push the latch up to the top, and then you're going to place the tool or the blade in like so, and that now is securely fitted to the tool. Which leads me nicely onto the inserts. Lots and lots of inserts for the Hilti Multitool, and you'll find that there's common ways of fixing the blade to many different multi-tools that are out there. Ours, as I mentioned, is Starlock Max. So tip number one from Dean, you want to be looking for the insert that has Starlock Max written on them. Now, obviously our tool is designed for use with our inserts, so you'll know when you buy your inserts from Hilti, they're obviously going to fit the Hilti Multitool. So please make sure you're looking for Starlock Max on the inserts that you're using with the Multitool. We fitted the tool here with a wood blade. You notice it's very, very traditional type of multi-tool blade. You got your teeth at the end there. Like with any insert, you want to be picking the right insert for the right piece of material or application that you're doing. So what you don't want to do is choose a metal blade if you're cutting wood, right? Or you want to choose a wood blade if you're cutting metal, for argument's sake. Now, blades will work in other materials, guys, but you'll notice differences like the vibration or the dust generated or the type and quality of cut. So you really want to make sure that you choose the right blade for the material, the right blade for the type of cut that you're going to do. So you'll notice with multi-tools that lots and lots of different inserts. We've got a circular blade here. You notice as well, we print on the insert, the Starlock fitting there. So you've got like a curved blade, you've got a more traditional straight blade, there's versions with longer cutting edges on here, there's versions with shorter ones. And then you can also attach things like sanding pads. So if you need to do a little bit of light duty sanding, normally good with stuff like flooring applications, second fix interior kind of stuff. Check out the range of inserts that we've got. There's multi-packs, there's different you know, if you're just doing one thing over and over, then you can get the blades that you need. And on this type of blade that you can see here, this is the 32mm, you've obviously got the depth of cut along the bottom as well. So at the bottom of the multi-tool, we've got a speed dial here. Now again, you really want to be picking the speed that is most appropriate to your application. And the way I would say that is if you want to focus on the quality of the cut, you want to drop the speed down. If you want to focus on how fast and efficient and quick you want to get through, then you put the speed up. So there's a nice simple rule of thumb: speed high, gets you through the material quicker, speed low, more delicate, where the quality of cut is more important to you. The multi-tool will work with all the Nuron batteries. Try and avoid, where you can, is putting one of the bigger batteries on the tool. I mean, you can see that the tool will work absolutely fine. It's a little bit heavy, okay? Balance. And if you're using a multi-tool, you're probably in a tight space, you may be on the floor, you're reaching up, you're in an awkward position, if you're cutting around door jambs or window frames or whatever it is you're doing. So my tip for you would be to go with one of the lighter duty batteries. You know, unless you're using this for really long periods of time, then the lighter batteries will be fine. So this one we've got here, I think is a 55, if I'm not mistaken. You can see on there. So, you know, something like 55 or 85 is absolutely fine. If you start getting up to the kind of 110 size batteries, then personally I would think the balance might be a little bit off, or the weight of the tool. So lighter battery is absolutely fine with the multi-tool. You don't need the big heavy duty ones. Apart from that, multi-tool is a multi-tool. You'll notice with the Hilti one, vibration or perceived vibration as well, very, very low. So you should find it a nice kind of tool to use. We spent a lot of time and effort in the design of the tool to make sure that that was the case. There's a lot of multi-tools in the market where there's heavy vibration. And it's like I say, if you're in a tight space, or, you know, it's quite an intense application, you know, we do want to care about how the tool is being used and how it feels for you to use it. So with that said, I've got a piece of timber here, and we'll just show you a few plunge cuts, and we'll maybe show the difference between high speed, low speed, and what that looks like. Obviously, when you're using the tools, make sure you've got your gloves, your glasses, which I have, and I'm going to put one of the smaller batteries on the tool. So again, I'm sure if you're familiar with Hilti, you'll know, but you want to check the power on your battery. You just press the red button at the bottom, and you also want to be sliding it on. You'll hear the click. We got the speed dial at the bottom, and it's just a straightforward off and on switch. So we've just got a piece of timber here, and we'll do some cuts with and without with high speed, low speed, and you can take a look. Dust extraction is available with the multi-tool. There's accessories for that. For the purpose of today, we're going to show you without, because we're only going to do a few small cuts. But if that is something that's interesting to you, then do reach out to us, and we can get you in touch with someone who can show you the dust extraction on the multi-tool. You'll see the vents at the side here as well. There's vents at the top. Apart from that, it's really, really nice tool to use. We'll do some cuts. So we're going to switch it on. We're on the highest speed possible here. That's the first, and you just... Now already you can hear the difference with the speed. That's how much the tool is oscillating, and the higher you go up. Now I know what all of you watching this video will do with the multi-tool is you'll just go straight to the most powerful cut. That's okay. But for the purposes of this, indulge me, we'll do some with the lower speed as well. We've got a piece of timber here. You know, with a multi-tool, you could be coming in from the top. Tip is you always want to be holding the tool nice and stable in your hands. You want a nice firm grip around the tool, but just get comfortable with it, however the type of cut is that you're using. You know, maybe it's that you're trimming little bits of the edge off. And this really is what the multi-tool is designed to do. Now that's on the lowest speed. And if I were to put that speed up a little bit, we're at the middle speed now. And then, why not? And again, this is where the multi-tool is really good, because you're normally doing little small corrective pieces, right? If you're cutting through timber all day, you're not going to be using a multi-tool. You're going to be using a wood circ saw or a beam saw or something like that, chop saw. With the multi-tool, you're doing small, delicate cuts. Maybe you're finishing off some interior work, you're cutting around door frames, you're doing flooring, you could be doing roofing, you know, all these kind of applications. And it really is a super simple tool to use. Tip, take the battery off when you're changing the blade. I know maybe that's not something we always do when we're using the tools, but please try and do that just to be sure everything's okay. So you've got the latch on the top. We're going to swap this blade. We're going to take the latch off, up, the blade will come off. And we're going to fit, let's maybe show you a sanding pad. So again, the pad will just fit on like that. That's now clicked into place. Most sanding pads are like a Velcro system. Ours is no different. So we're just going to pop that one on the top like that. Again, I'll put the same battery on. Or maybe I'll use a slightly bigger one just so you can see that. So you can check the power by pressing the red latch. We're okay. Goes in. There you can see the speed setting again in action. So I know again, not a perfect application, but just to show you some sanding. Trying to think how this would translate to real life for you, but you know, maybe we're just trying to chamfer off the edge. I don't know. Look at that, lovely. Now, so that's pretty much it, guys, with the multi-tool. We've used a variety of batteries. We've used a couple of different inserts for it. One question we sometimes get is why did we go with the Starlock system for fitting the blade to the tool? And the reason is that we wanted the most secure kind of fitting for the insert. Because of the intenseness of the application, sometimes high speed, you know, in short spaces, you want confidence that the insert's going to fit nicely. We've covered another question we get, which is the batteries. Yes, you can use them all, but you want to go with the lighter ones if possible. Apart from that, that's the multi-tool. Hope the video has been useful for you. If you're interested in learning more, you can contact us in all the usual places. We'd be happy to come and show you the tool in real life. And we'll see you on the next video.